Hello and welcome to Our Spirited Life. We are here to engage and inspire you with conversation around real life issues, both personal and professional. My guests, amazing guests, share how they've created a truly spiritual, that's a good word, to combine successful and spirited life and their journey to reaching this. Listen to the very end for some top tips and an amazing music choice, which this week is a bit different. A warm welcome to this week's issue, where I am so delighted to introduce Kwesi Jamaal. Have I said that, Jamaal, right?
Perfect.
Thank you. As a dedicated holistic health coach in Toronto, Kwesi focuses on empowering purpose-driven leaders to cultivate a winning mindset, optimize wellness, and amplify their impact. I love that. With a passion for holistic transformation, Kwesi combines personal development with business success strategies, guiding leaders towards authentic, impactful leadership. I cannot wait for this conversation, Kwesi. But first of all, welcome to Our Spirited Life. We're speaking online, and I'm in Somerset in the UK. Where in the world are you?
I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
And have you
Yeah.
been there for a long time or?
Yeah, this is home. Toronto's home. I was born
Yeah,
in Trinidad in the Caribbean.
yeah,
Lived different places, but Toronto's home.
yeah, yeah. Do you manage to get back to Trinidad at some point for some sunshine?
That necessary, right? It's
Yeah.
been some time, but the end of this year, my daughter wants to go. She wants to revisit, so I think I'll be going again this year.
That will be a very, very special trip.
Yes.
Now, this is going to be an interesting conversation, I'm sure, because you have had a transformative journey into health and wellness. So,
Mm.
what pivotal moment in your life shaped the purpose you're pursuing today?
Hmm.
And how far
That's
back?
that's an excellent question. It was a accumulation of events, but the most recent one that really got me to embark on, or a catalyst for getting into health and wellness space, was in 2021. I was released from my job. I worked with the federal government in my country, and I was released from my job. This is during COVID and the
Mm,
mandates.
mm,
I chose my agency when it came to specific mandates at that time, and I
mm,
was released from my job. When I knew that I was about to be released, I booked a one-way ticket. I went to the DR because I'm like, hey, I'm going to enjoy some sunshine. I'm going to enjoy some time to myself. I have family down there as well.
mm,
And I was
mm.
just living La Vida Loca
Ah,
for some period of
fantastic.
time.
What age? What age were you at this point, Crazy?
30 something.
Okay, so you'd
Yeah.
been working for the government or the federal agency for quite
Hmm.
some time,
5 years.
5
5 years.
years. That's not the FBI, is it?
No, it's not the FBI.
Do
It's not
excuse
the
my
FBI.
ignorance, everyone, but it sounds quite sort of, out there.
No, it's not the FBI. That's interesting because I worked in the security and management space with the
Right.
federal government.
o-
So similar, but not quite.
Okay.
But yeah, I booked a ticket. I booked a one-way ticket
Yeah.
and I went to the DR to enjoy my life. And then I came back to Toronto on the very last day that they were closing the borders. My
Right.
thought at that time was, hey, I'm having a great time. This is enjoyable. This is fun.
Mm,
But I have real responsibilities back home. And not only that, I have my daughter back home. And I'm like,
mm,
what's
mm.
going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen on the other side of these
Yeah.
lockdowns,
Yeah.
right? So I made that choice to return on that day, and I had to quarantine. It's the first time I've ever had to quarantine from anything. So I was away from family, I was away from my social circle. Two
Mm.
needs that I came to find out later on in life that are important to me and my well-being:
Yeah. Yeah.
family, social circle,
Yeah.
and being outdoors. I wasn't
Yes.
permitted to do that. And it was winter. So coming from
Mm.
hot beach, because I was right by the beach, I stayed by the beach for about 2 months,
Mm. Oh
to
my
return
goodness,
to
I love
Toronto.
it.
Yes, to
Yeah.
return to Toronto, where it was cold, it was winter. Um, I started to take a turn. I wasn't able to continue paying my bills, feeding myself, and I fell into a state of depression. Now, with this particular depression, because it's not the first I've experienced it, but this time it was one of the worst that I've ever experienced.
Mm.
Again, the needs of not having family or social circle,
Mm.
including my daughter around me. being
Yeah.
told that I couldn't go outside as the dead in winter and not being
Well,
able to work.
yeah, and really, from going to all of that, from all of that sunshine to the cold and
Hmm.
grey. If you don't get daylight and sunshine on your, was it the pituitary gland at the back of your head? That's
That's
where
right.
you make, you need that to get that on there. So,
That's right. The
yeah,
sun
big change.
for me is necessary for my for balance,
Yeah.
wellness and balance. I've come to realize that
Okay.
that trip proved that to me. I wasn't aware of it before, and
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say I was numb to that realization
But
before.
it's the
So
very temperature of the light, isn't it? That
yes,
that warmth, literal warmth, not in the heat, but in the this tone of the light.
that's
There
right.
is, if when people are listening to this, there is, you can get a SAD lamp, SAD, seasonal
Yes,
affective disorder, and they
yes,
will help a lot with people who are affected by the greyness of the winter.
yes, yes.
Boy, is it grey
Very
here in the UK at the moment. We're recording
yes.
this mid-January, and it's a bit grey at the moment. But it
uh,
will pass. So,
it
so
will.
you were back in Toronto, all locked up.
Right. And feeling like I'm losing my mind. And
Mm.
one of my coping mechanisms at that point in my life was if I feel threatened, if I feel sad, if I feel depressed, is to recluse. So I'm like, okay, you're already locked off, and now you're going to choose to recluse as well. So I'm not letting anyone know what's going on. So
Okay.
I started to lose weight rapidly. I returned from the DR to Toronto about 178 pounds. And in about 2 months, I was 155 pounds. Reason
Okay.
being,
Yeah.
I wasn't eating. I was only drinking fluids. I had no appetite to eat. I had no desire to eat, and I
Oh,
started to wither away.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was
Literally.
sick. Literally, I started
Mm,
to wither
mm,
away.
mm.
The only saving grace at that time on my road to recovery was again when the sun started to come out. I started to get outside more, and then I had different healing modalities that I was doing, and we could talk
Mm.
about that later. But
Okay.
that helped save my life. So when I realized that my body transformed without me wanting to do so, my body's naturally reacted to things I was doing or not
Mm,
feeding it.
mm.
When I started to reintroduce nutrition to my body, when I started to reintroduce sunshine in my body, when I started to introduce newly meditation and yoga,
Yes.
somatic healing practices and
Right.
movement, I
Mm-hmm.
saw my body go to another transformation.
Mm.
And that's what was really like, okay, there's a science here that I'm a geek about science. There's a
Mm.
science here, but this is a real life experience that I was able to, I say transform my life, but also save my life, literally.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
that sparked me, that pushed me on this journey of like, let me find out more, let me learn more. And not only
Mm.
that, how could I impact my community
Yeah,
with
brilliant.
this knowledge and pay
Yeah,
it forward? And
yes, yes.
that was the beginning
Because
of my journey.
that sort of thing that happened to you can happen to anybody. It
Yes.
doesn't matter how bright or, it can, certain things or combination can really bring you into such a deep malaise and depression
Hmm.
that, yeah, you become, the mental and the physical are so closely attached
Yes.
and linked. As my daughter, I told you about Lottie, who is a breathwork
Hmm.
facilitator, and they say that breathwork is the bridge between the mind and body. And I think
Yes.
also some people don't or don't know that a lot of your happy hormone, your serotonin, is made in your gut. So you've got to look after your gut. There's all of
Yes.
these things which, as you say, holistic healing and holistic
Hmm.
approach to a good life. So how did that ignite your passion for becoming a coach? Take us on that journey from,
Coaching.
yeah,
So I'm new to the space of coaching. I launched my business in June of 2024.
yeah,
Before that, I'm going to be very honest with you. I was learning all this information, healing myself,
yeah,
learning ways to heal myself naturally. And
yeah,
before that, the reason why I was so motivated to heal was because I was sick and tired of being in a state of chaos,
mm,
um,
mm,
no rest, and just being ill. And I went to people that specialize in medicine. So I went to doctors and specialists,
mm, mm.
and I'm like, why am I going to all these different people when I am a whole being? I am one. My mind, body,
So
and
you
spirit is
went
one.
to Western medicine,
That's correct.
right?
Right? I went to
Mhm.
Western medicine, and what was prescribed to me was antidepressants.
Yeah.
And I just want to put a disclaimer: this is my personal journey.
Yeah.
Everyone's journey is
It's
different,
different. Yeah. And the
right?
choices we make. Mm.
Exactly. So it's prescribed medication for my mental health. I was prescribed medication for my lack of appetite
Mm.
and behavioral therapy,
Okay. Yeah.
right? Which is fine, but something in my mind wasn't clicking. And
Okay.
the way my brain normally works is I see colors and patterns, and I'm very quick to observe patterns.
Mm.
And when something is not in alignment with a pattern that I observe, I
Mm.
question it, and it gnaws at my brain. Like I
Okay.
fixate on
Okay.
it until I
Okay.
could resolve
Mm.
it. And the
Mm.
thing that wasn't making sense for me was I'm going to see all these different specialists, different appointments, different places, different set of money, different costs.
Mm.
Why don't I have a team that could look at all my information and say, hey, let's work together? So integrative medicine
Yeah.
and
I
integrative
hear it.
holistic approach to my health and wellness. And
Yeah.
when I saw that that isn't the approach here in Toronto or maybe in the western part of the world,
Mm.
including using practices that are from the East,
Mm.
I wanted to do it myself. And
Mm.
then I wanted to find people that are actually practicing Eastern ways of medicine, but
Yeah.
also a holistic approach. So
Fabulous.
now I'm empowered. I'm empowered to, with the coaching, it was like, okay, if I could be a change maker by
Mm.
introducing someone or helping someone on their journey of wellness. And when I say healing, healing to me comes from Dr. Gabor Mate, brilliant,
Oh yes. Yes.
a
The body is
brilliant
the body
man.
keeps the score.
That's right. You got
Yeah.
it. The body keeps the score. He
Great book,
introduced me
everyone.
to, yes, his perspective of healing, meaning wholeness, the
Yes.
state of being
Yes.
before being well, before you start to disassociate from yourself or come outside of your body versus
Yeah.
being in your body and being
Yes.
embodied, right?
Yes.
That's what I mean when I say healing. So that got me on the road of like, okay, cool. I need a new career. Physically, I wasn't able to do the job that I was doing before. And the reason why is because I got in a car accident in 2023 and I was
Mm.
diagnosed with long term chronic pain, and they found that I had arthritis in my mid, lower back, my hips, and in my knees in
Oh, from
2023.
the car accident, or had you already
From
got
the,
that in from the accident?
I was told most likely it was asymptomatic, and the car accident triggered it.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So my body was in a lot of pain, and I'm like, why? I'm back. I'm back on my high, getting back
Yeah.
to the place where I was before, and to have
Yeah.
this accident happen again, another catalyst.
Yes.
I was like, instead of saying, why is this happening? I started
Mhm.
to ask myself, how is this happening for me? That
Oh, I
road to
love that.
again,
How is this happening
how
for
is it
me,
happening for
not
me?
to me?
Not to me. How is it
Brilliant.
happening for me?
Yes.
Right? And
Yeah.
once I started to form my mind and my thoughts around that, the brain is amazing. The brain
Mm.
always looks for
Mm.
conclusions, right? So I started to focus on how this is happening for me and in my favor. And once that happened, my brain's like, I'm going to show you different ways or reasons how this is happening in your favor.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what really pushed me to, hey, heal your body, meditation, breath, as you said, somatic practices, and be and show people how to do this. So when they're on their healing journey, returning
Mm.
to a place of wholeness, they
Mm.
have tools, tangible
Mm.
tools, and
Mm.
ways that they could do
Mm.
so versus
Mm.
only medicine.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And that's what got me into coaching, and
And
that's why I'm so passionate because of the
yeah, I can
impact
see
that that
why the
has.
impact, because pharmaceutical medicine has a place. It is needed, but for depression and stuff like that, if you pursue the Eastern ways and the holistic
Yeah,
therapeutic ways, it won't have the awful side effects that, to have to be deep depressed is literally depressed. And
that's
it's like,
right.
ooh. So
That's
I
right.
admire you for that.
Thank you.
And thank goodness that's what you're doing now to help other people. And then you've brought that personal
Hmm.
development, you've combined it with business success strategies, which is great. So, what's one lesson from your personal growth journey that you wish
Hmm.
everyone could or would learn and apply?
This another amazing question. So I identify as neurodivergent or as our community likes to call it over here, neurospicey, which
Neurospicey.
neurospicey.
Wow, that's fabulous.
Do you like that?
I love it. Actually, my partner and I, we sort of laugh about how we're probably ACD and OCD, ADHD and OCD,
Hmm.
but both having been or are professional photographers. When you're editing and everything, we've made a new one. We are ATD,
What does that stand for?
attention to detail, which is
Oh,
a
I love
far
that.
more
I
positive
love.
way of saying, yeah, I get,
Yes.
brought dragged in and but ATD is a positive way to describe it.
Hmm.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
I love
so
that. I'm
neuros
going to use that actually.
spicy, neuros spicy.
Neurospicy.
Okay,
Yes,
tell me more.
neurospicy. So how this impacts my personal journey is, remember I told you how my brain fixates, right?
Yes.
Um, Before learning ways to cope and have my needs met, I was masking, and masking could look like I'm sitting here with you and you're having a conversation with me and say, "Hey, do you understand Kwesi?" And I'm like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I understand," which I don't. In my mind, I've already either tapped out or I'm thinking about something in your background, fixating on it. I wonder how come
Okay.
that color is purple and white. I
Yeah.
wonder how long it's been that color.
Yeah.
What is it actually? What is it made of? Having
Yeah.
a conversation, we're speaking, and I'm
Yeah. But
not
your
there.
mind is elsewhere. Clever.
Elsewhere. Right? So we're masking and we're
Yeah.
coping. I was coping for a long time. That and other things led to me having a mindset, meaning a belief that not only am I different, I didn't belong. I was invalidated
Mhm.
and I was invisible and I was lonely. In a
Mm.
room full of
Mm.
people that I know that see me,
Mm.
no one actually sees me and I felt
Nobody saw you.
entrapped.
No. Do you
Exactly.
know? I've just written about this in my Mastering Mental Toughness course. I just started
Hmm.
the first group Zoom, and I'd remembered it from some time back. And I will look it up and put. There's a Zulu greeting, which is beautiful. I won't get it wrong. I'll put it in, but it means I see you, and by seeing
Mm.
you, you are in the world. It's a beautiful greeting and it's
I
returned.
love that.
And it's much, much deeper because when it says, I see you inside and who you are, not just,
Oh,
hi, how are you?
I
I'll
love
send it
that.
to you and I'll
Please
put it
do.
in the notes, with our podcast. Okay.
Thank you so
So
much.
not being seen is horrible.
Horrible. So I went through life wearing a mask and pretending so I could fit in. I could fit into society, not look like I'm standing out and being the odd one in the bunch, feeling misunderstood oftentimes.
Wow. It's
Um,
so
l-
tiring. Mm,
Thank you. Thank you for seeing me. Just validating
exhausting.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly that. And that led to a whole bunch of things. My point is this. I finally was able to get to a place where, like you said, I see you. I was able to see myself and accept myself. So everyone listening, you are perfectly you.
Mm,
The
mm.
bravest and greatest thing you could ever offer to yourself and to the world around you is you being yourself.
You, yes,
That's
yes,
exactly it.
yeah,
And that led me on a journey of like, wow, let me embrace the newer spiciness. Let
yes,
me let me let
yes,
me let me find my community
yeah,
that also is like
absolutely.
myself. Yeah.
There is a chapter in my Women of Spirit books called Perfect in Our Imperfections.
Oh,
And
all these
because
gems.
we are, if I haven't sent you PDFs, I will. Or you can
You
actually buy,
have.
you can
Thank
buy,
you.
people can buy the PDFs on my website, by the way.
Yes.
Yes. So I love the fact that you say that actually, is there anything what you else want to expand on what you've been taught? Once you felt seen and once you saw yourself, then what happened? Because the next question has a very
Hmm.
powerful sentence in it, and the way you describe yourself. So let's go a
Right.
little bit more into when you started seeing yourself and felt seen. Then what happened?
Oh my goodness, Susie, it was revolutionary.
Mm.
For the first time, not the first time, I had gotten I've gotten excellent at being a human doing versus a human being.
Being. Mm,
So the
mm,
child or the inner boy in me was trapped for so long, just screaming to be
Mm,
seen, acknowledged, and to feel
mm,
safe.
mm, mm,
And
mm.
I found my way back to that inner child, and I was able to give my inner child the joy that it
Yeah.
deserved, the
Oh,
love
yeah,
that he
yeah,
deserves,
yeah,
the compassion and the safety.
yeah,
How did I do it? I had to see me first instead of relying on people outside of me to see me. I had
yeah.
to give it to myself.
It's
And once I
coming
started that
home
transformation,
to
yes,
self again. I
yes,
have to tell our audience this is one of the things I cover, is coming home to the self with an empowerment practice in my
hmm
Mastering Mental Toughness course because it's so important. It
absolutely.
generates. We begin with the self, and if we don't, because I don't know again if it's a cultural thing, Kwesi, but
hmm
certainly I think English or British women find it very hard to self-love, to
Yeah.
say, I love myself. They find it really hard. One woman a while ago on a course even said, but that would be really arrogant. And that was just so it's hard for some people because they do perceive it as, ooh, but they need to understand that unless we love ourselves, how can we expect anybody else to love us? Because we
hmm
have to understand that we are lovable. So
Yes.
you loved
Yes.
yourself and you became lovable. And
Mhm.
then you could get it out as well.
Yes.
Whilst
And then
you,
I could attract others who
yes,
see me and actually love me for who I am
yes. So you're
versus who I'm not.
flying now. Fly.
Yes.
FLY. First love yourself.
Ooh,
And you can use that. It's not my thing. It's
I love it.
for
I love
you.
it.
All of these things are just little things which, stay in our minds. And yeah, first, let's fly. First, love yourself.
hmm
So
I
you
love it.
started to do that. Then what
Yes.
came next?
And that's really the basis and the foundation
Mm,
for everything that I do. It's self-love.
great. Yeah.
I I can't I'm not going to offer you something, whether it's a strategy, whether it's a belief, whether it's a thought, that one I haven't tried on myself, my brain and being the scientist I am.
Mm,
Um, but if it's not within me to give, I can't give it to you.
yes. Yes. Because it wouldn't be authentic.
It's not authentic, and you see right through it, and it's not going to be sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
myself, every day, I I get the privilege and the pleasure of loving my human being
Yes.
more and more, and
Yeah.
that because I'm growing that within, I'm able to also project it outwardly,
Yeah.
and that's why we're here, Susan.
Yeah. And I love this because you are truly authentic. Your demeanor, your voice, just
Thank
your
you.
presence is that authentic, calm, genuine, loving human being.
hmm
And so that brings me to you. You say, Kwesi, that you have
Yeah.
that magnetic attraction, authentic relationship building, and solution-based results are your strength and vibe. Would you
Yeah.
say that we are born with magnetic attraction, or can we learn it if we're not?
I believe that we're all born with it and you could relearn it.
Okay, yeah, because we
You could
lose it
reactivate
along
it.
the way.
Yes. We forget. We have a bit of an amnesia.
Oh, but I also think that maybe whatever your parental experience is from your parents, from peers, now social media, it can get kicked out of you.
100%.
So
100%.
again, once we learn that self-love and we can love ourselves, I think then, yes, all those things like magnetic attraction, which is so powerful.
hmm
Charisma is so powerful.
Yes.
And then it's again, it's something whereby if you have that, you're attracting to you the people who with whom you want to work or with whom you want to help, or people that you just like to be around. It's like radiators, isn't it? Radiators and
Yeah.
drains. Who wants to be around a drain?
I
We'd
love your
rather
analogies.
snuggle up with a radiator anytime.
This is very true. This is very,
So, a favorite word of mine, because I've had to tap into it a lot, and it has. I'm lucky. I'm a born optimist.
mm,
And I'm doing this mental toughness assessment and development stuff. I think being a born optimist helps you to be resilient because you think, I'm not
Hmm.
going to bloody well sink. I'm going to stay and then rise.
Yes.
Um, with the mental toughness, resilience plus positivity equals mental toughness. And a lot
Hmm.
of people don't have that natural resilience. And mine has been tested so many times that I am authentic and an award winning resilience role model,
Yes.
and so it's a great word, I think, resilience.
Hmm.
So how much part did resilience and positivity, aka mental toughness, play in your life and your entrepreneurial journey? Were there times when you had to really reach deep inside and go,
Hmm.
okay, this is a challenge, but I'm going to rise to it?
That's a great question. I want to first acknowledge your gifting of being
Thank
an
you.
optimist and your choice to offer back to us as a collective what is instinctive to you, intrinsic to you. Thank you for offering us that
Oh,
because you're role
my
modeling.
pleasure.
You're
Thank
role
you.
modeling, and
Yeah.
we need that, right? We
Yes.
need as a
Yes.
human beings to see people role modeling authenticity and resilience for us to
Yeah.
feel like we have permission to do it ourselves.
Yes, yeah. And this is great because, again, it's the people attraction with Payman and Deb and all of these other
Hmm.
gorgeous people. There's this sort of figure of eight of energy, this lovely energy
Yes.
going, and we
Yes.
uplift each other. And by uplifting each other, we get out and serve more people. So,
Hmm.
I love this community. And
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So thank you for
Yes. And
acknowledging that. I
likewise, we
appreciate
love
it.
you.
So how did it play a part? When did you have to really draw upon that?
I'll answer this way.
Mm-hmm.
I have, and this is my truth, and
Mm.
I'm pausing because of the feedback I may get from it.
Okay.
I have, like you said, you're a born optimist. I have a natural attraction and intimate relationship with pain and with chaos. From the
Okay.
moment I was born to my
With what
childhood,
in chaos, Kwesi?
right. So before I was even born, my mother told me of a story of how she got into a physical dangerous situation and that could have potentially aborted me. And I still
Okay.
came. I came full term and I'm thankful.
Yeah.
After I was born, before the age of 7, I almost drowned in the ocean, and they had to form a human chain of people running into the ocean to save me because I was just like ah, ha, ha, and then the tide took me.
Oh
Um,
God.
Another situation happened again, all before the age of 7. I had more than one situation that almost took my life. Throughout
Okay.
my life, as I started to get older in my adolescence, there
Mm,
have been life or death situations that happen.
mm,
That's one thing. People are like, maybe you're lucky, you're blessed. I'm like, no, that's not it.
mm,
Mentally, now, I've been homeless, I've been depressed. I'm diagnosed with depression, anxiety, PTSD, and
mm,
ADHD. These
mm.
are my official clinical diagnoses.
Labels, though,
Yes, those
and
labels,
you would
yes.
never know,
Yeah,
would you?
thank you. Thank you. Right? Going through life with those labels, I realized like, hey, chaos is always around me and I'm comfortable here. It wasn't until maybe 2, 3 years ago where someone outside of me, I finally saw like, hey, this person's living a life that I'm not envious of, but how is it that you're always optimistic? How is it you're always positive? How come
Mm,
you never complain about anything?
mm,
There's always a light and an aura. And I was
mm, mm,
fascinated by that. So eventually I got on my own journey of like, could that possibly live inside of me?
mm.
Here's where the resilience part comes in. I truly believe because of my life experiences, I've become resilient to something that some people would avoid and be like, I don't want any part of that because I've had so much experience with it at a
Yeah.
young age
Yeah.
before getting into, 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
I really believe that I could stand in that fire and be like, listen,
Mm,
if you're going through it, I'll sit with you until
mm,
you're ready to come out of it
mm,
because I've
mm,
been there and I'll
mm,
never judge you.
mm,
I'll never
mm,
play judgment on you. I'll
mm,
never
mm.
disbelieve that you have the potential to overcome this if you
Yes.
push through. And now,
Yes.
when I look at mental, emotional, or physical pain, resilience is a superpower that I build every day, and I help my clients to do the same.
Yeah. Oh, I love this. I love this. And a lot of it resonates, Kwesi. My latest mantra and my phrase, and having begun this course and on my emails, is "I'm with you all the way,"
Love it.
because I know what it's like to be going through it. And so, bravo, you.
Hmm.
So, if you could
Thank you.
describe your mission in 3 words, what would they be and why?
Hmm. What's coming up for me is this: generational impact,
Okay.
positive
Yeah.
generational impact.
Mm.
When I wake up every day, one of my purposes is to, one, love myself more than I did yesterday
Mm.
with self
Mm.
acceptance, self care, self compassion, and taking action. And the second one is this thought: if I could do this, and I could show one person how to do the same and encourage them in their journey, they could show another person. If we could impact 7 generations beyond us just by doing that, 7 generations going down the road, they could look at, hey, Kwesi at one point in time, or maybe they don't even know my name. I am where I am. I'm mentally strong. I'm emotionally strong. I'm physically strong. I'm wealthy and prosperous. This happened because it came through my bloodline or through my community.
Mm.
And that motivates me to get up every day.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
that's part of the reason
Beautiful.
why I do what I do. And that's part of my mission. How
Yes.
could I impact not only this generation, but 7 generations beyond us? We talk about wealth. Hey, wealth could be inherited and passed down. There's different forms of wealth:
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
balance,
Mm-hmm.
abundance, positivity, resilience. These are also forms of wealth. And
Mm.
this is what I want to pass on
Yeah.
generation.
Well done, you. Well done,
Thank
you.
you.
Um, are you going to coach other people to, to do the same thing? We need more of you. And there's a
That's the
quote
goal.
that this is reminding me, apart from the Zulu greeting, I must make a note, Zulu
Hmm.
greeting and
Yes.
Rumi. There's a quote from Rumi about a candle. And again, I won't get it wrong. I'll put
Hmm.
it in this. It's about lighting up.
Okay. I love Rumi.
So, outside of your professional work, you enjoy nature
Yeah.
hikes, volunteering at
Yes.
grassroots community and cultural
Yes.
events, and advocating for mental health wellness.
Wellness. Yeah.
I like the fact that that third word is there, advocating for mental health wellness,
Hmm.
because so many times it's just called mental health. Well, it's actually, mental health is not just one thing. So well done for that. So if you had to pick one of these, and I'm sorry because this might be a really,
Oh.
which would be the most important to you and why?
Wow. Oh.
So it's nature hikes, volunteering at grassroots community and cultural events, and advocating for mental health wellness. I won't hold you to it,
Hmm.
but is there something
Um,
that you're
if I absolutely had to choose, it would be the advocacy for mental health wellness. And the
I knew
reason why
you'd
I
choose
say
that
that,
one. Because of who you are.
yes, and the reason why I say that too is because without your mental health, again, getting back to the whole person,
Mm-hmm.
total health and wellness. If my mentality and my mindset is not well, that impacts my biology, my physiology, that impacts my spirit, and that impacts my environment.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
lived it. I've seen there's science to back it. And
Mm-hmm.
again, with the wellness part of it, like we talk about mental health often, but I want to advocate for wellness. In other words, hey, how do we become well mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually versus let's continue speaking about labels or medication to
Mm-hmm.
suppress or to contain. I don't
Mm-hmm.
just want to treat symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the root of it. So I
Yes.
advocate for the wellness. I
Yes.
don't just
Yeah.
advocate for suppressing or
Yeah.
masking.
Because there can't be joy and a bright spirit when you are suppressed.
You
No, you
can't do
can't.
it.
Actually, that's a
You
funny you
can't do
should
it.
use that word because a healer with me said the word that was coming through from my childhood was suppressed. I was
Mm.
suppressed for most of my childhood. Well, try and hold me back now. I'm, my inner Tigger.
Yes.
It needs to be let out. Now
Love
you've
it.
already mentioned one book, really good book. So I'm going to ask you, what's the best book you have read, and what did it do for you? It could be
Hmm.
fiction, it could be a personal development, it could be anything.
Yeah. I'm gonna say two. Two are
Yeah, you
coming
can
out for you.
have two.
The first one was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence
Oh,
People.
amazing. Crazy. I had that in the back of my cupboard, with my books for about 20 years. And
Yes.
because somebody said I should read it. And it was yet another, all in my library of personal development books. And the time came when clearly I was ready. And I discovered that it's written around stories. He
Yes.
teaches you everything through stories. If only I'd known that before.
The
Oh, I'm
stories,
with you all the way on that
stories.
one. Mm.
It's a great book. Funny again, story. How
Mm.
I came into that book. I was in Trinidad on vacation around 15 or 16, and I got into some trouble. I was defending a cousin of mine
Mm.
against a plainclothes officer. And I ended up getting locked up and eventually got bail, thankfully. But they worked me over when I was in there. Again, their reason is because I was not a compliant um,
Okay. Well,
person.
actually,
Okay.
when there's an injustice, it's hard to be compliant
Yes,
with
exactly.
authority.
Exactly. I was defending myself and I was defending my
Yeah.
family. Either way, so I went to my aunt's place to heal and to recover. And I couldn't leave the country, so I was stuck in Trinidad until we went through the whole court procedure and all that, right?
God.
And one of the books that was in her bookshelf, and I wasn't a big reader at that time. Again, being 16, I'm just feeling myself, being out there, being wild,
Mm.
hormones, doing
Mm.
all that. And I looked at the book. I'm like, how to win friends and influence? What does this mean? And it was right beside a Bible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm
Oh,
gonna read a
Kwesi,
psalm.
you are pausing.
Am I there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're back now. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So it was a Bible and then Carnegie's book. His name was interesting to me. So I read the book from front to back, and my motivation or my reason was this. I've always had um a challenging time making connections with others,
Mm-hmm.
right? Genuine, meaningful, fulfilling
Mm.
connections.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. And I didn't even realize that was my first step into personal development at that age. And that helped
Mm.
me on my
Mm.
journey. Remember, so now I'm physically healing and I'm reading to grow my mind
Yeah. Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
same time,
Yeah.
right? At that age. And
Yeah.
that helped me to have better relationships
Yes. Can you
after
tell me
that.
your age again, just in case we missed it when you went fuzzy? What are you?
35.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good God. Okay. And the next one I think I just caught was the Bible.
Yeah, the two books were together. The Bible, and so I read Psalms, and then I read this guy's book, and I was fascinated by the stories in here and their strategies. And I'm like, wait a second, we're full of stories, and there's such a powerful connection
Mm.
between stories of how we show up, how we connect, and how we relate through
Mm.
stories. And anyone that is, whether this is business or this is just social relationships, if
Yeah.
you want to have a genuine, dynamic, and long lasting impact, have a
Yeah.
great story to tell.
Yeah.
Be a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
storyteller,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
that book, but also this book is great. The Wealth Money Can't Buy by Robin Sharma, a fellow Canadian. That's also a
Okay.
very great book. The Wealth
Brilliant.
Money Can't Buy by Robin
Okay.
Sharma.
I love that because in this day and age, I mean, we need money's an energy. We need money to survive, but we also need money, to give us the freedom of choice with some things, the
Yes.
things that bring us joy, whether it's being able to travel to see family who are far away.
Hmm.
What brings you joy and lifts your spirits?
Hmm. I haven't been. Wow. I'm thinking back to who is the last person to ever ask me that question outside of myself, my daily mantras, my
Mm.
daily affirmations. Thank you. Thank you for asking me that question, Susie. Brilliant. What brings me joy or who brings me joy? Hmm. I'm gonna get emotional answering this question. The first part of
Okay.
my answer is It brings me joy to look myself in the mirror and have a genuine love and appreciation for myself.
Great.
Finally, after years of never having that,
Yes.
that
Great.
brings me joy.
Mm.
It does. Another thing that brings me joy is hmm, friendships where I'm allowed to be my full, complete, crazy, out of the
Crazy
box
self.
self.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have them offer mutuality in
Yeah.
being the same
Yeah.
and just be at peace. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That brings
Yeah.
me joy. And of
And
course,
to be
being a
loved.
father.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Being a father.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
And also to be loved for who you are, not what you are.
Yes. And not
Um,
what I could provide you.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah.
mm.
I love that. Do you have, we're coming to the close, which is a bit sad, but because I
Oh,
could talk with you all day. What do you
likewise.
have three little tips or one major takeaway to leave our audience with?
Yeah, magnetism. People often speak about, oh, a couple of things that come up often. And I speak about it on my socials and I give tips and all that, is manifestation, magnetism, and abundance. So I
Mm,
want to offer this. If you want to be irresistibly attractive, become confident. Kwesi, how do you become confident? Confidence is it's a magnet. It
yes.
literally is. It's like,
Yeah.
it's alluring. It
Yeah.
pulsates
Yeah.
once you can see
Yeah.
it in someone.
Yeah.
And this is a simple formula. Trust is built through action.
Mm-hmm.
Take action. The more you commit to the actions that you're taking, you start to build self-trust. So
Mm-hmm.
trust is built through action. And confidence is a result of trust.
Mm, mm,
You can't have two separate, they're together.
mm,
So I speak to entrepreneurs a lot about this. Oh, I make all this money. I'm like, this is great.
mm,
So you can manifest money, the
mm,
energy of money. But the vessel, yourself, that
mm.
is attracting the money is, I won't say incomplete, it's resistant because you don't trust yourself. And a
Okay.
lot of your blocks is because you don't trust yourself. Once
Okay.
you develop your self-trust, then you could trust others. And in the fire, whether your money is high or low, you trust yourself to know what to do to get it back. But not only that, that you're able to keep yourself safe, sound, and balanced when you're going through it. The
This,
resistance, the resilience piece.
that is so powerful.
Mhm.
Thank you. That is a major takeaway. Oh, I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to watch this again, actually. Get it
And
out.
that builds your confidence.
Oh,
And then your clients or your friends get to see, like, wow,
yeah.
where does your
Yeah.
confidence come
Yeah.
from? It's
Yeah.
because I trust myself.
Yeah.
I trust
Yeah.
myself. That's why I'm so confident. And
Yeah.
that's irresistible to
Yeah. It
anyone that
is.
sees and gets to
Yes.
be in
And
your
that's
presence.
really magnetic.
Yeah.
Crazy, thank you. And I know you have a very special piece of music to leave us with.
Oh,
And it
yes.
also, I think we talked about the spirit and the light. So, will you
Mhm.
tell us about this piece of music? And again, I will put a link in the writing, that goes out with the podcast.
Yes. Light It Up is a song by myself, written and recorded by me, Kwesi Jamaal, and engineered and produced by Nate Smith, a good friend of mine. So the story for the song, I was in the DR when the melody to this song came. So remember, I was on a high and I would sit on my balcony looking at the ocean. This melody kept coming up to my mind. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but my brain fixates. So I'm like, okay. So my body started to just feel excited. I'm on the beach, the wind, the breeze, I have a little something in my hand. The people around me are vibrant, and there's this melody playing in the background in my mind. So when I went to the studio, I'm like, hey, let's explore. And my personal way of songwriting is I don't write. I go into the studio and I do melodies, and then I put the words to it and recreate on the spot. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how I create music. But my music is vibes. I want to sonically and lyrically evoke a vibe and a feeling in the
Oh,
person listening.
yeah.
So Light It Up was how I felt being on the beach in the ocean, my experience in the DR. And I want people, when they listen to it, to see how they feel. It's an island vibe, it's breezy, it's just feel
Mm,
good. So
mm,
every time I listen to it, my entire body has a response to it.
mm, mm, mm.
And that's why I chose. chose it as my song.
Yeah, light
Light it
up.
up.
And
So,
it lifts
and double
you
entendres
up,
too. It lifts you. It
it lifts
lights
you.
you up. It activates
Yeah.
you to want to be expressed and
Yeah,
just
and to want to move, which of
and
course
want to
is
move.
healthy. The
Yes.
DR, Dominican Republic?
Yes.
Oh,
Dominican Republic. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Dominican Republic.
Kwesi, this has just been fantastic. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining us.
you.
And I'm sure there's so much that our audience will take away. And before I say goodbye properly, how do people find you?
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor.
Thank
I
you.
really do enjoy it. From the moment we met, there is you're attractive. Your spirit is very attractive.
Thank you.
It
Yeah.
is. And you're consistent, which is like a breath of fresh air for
Oh, thank you.
me.
Yeah.
Because you're consistent.
Okay.
So thank you. It's been a pleasure. And for your lovely audience, love to each and every one of you. You can find me at Kwesi Jamaal, Jamaal, on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, and my websites are on there. It'll be Kwesi
What's
Jamaal.
the address of your website? Because I did look, and
So
it
I'm
didn't.
on
All your other
Penn site, where you can book
links came
coaching
up.
from me there. Are you hearing me?
Oh, I have lost. I'm going to stay. Oh, you're back again. I just lost you for the address of your
That's okay.
website, please, Rosie.
So I work on Penn site. That's how you could find me as a coach. But my link tree with all my socials is Linktree Kwesi Activator, Activtor, I think is how you spell activator.
Activator, yes.
Yeah. Kwesi Activator Jamal. And that has all my socials and the site where you could book me and we could work
Brilliant.
together
Okay.
and have a
Brilliant.
magnetic meet and vibe just to see if we could work together. So Linktree,
Yeah.
Kwesi Activator Jamal, and that's how you find me.
Brilliant. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you, Kwesi.
Thank you. Yeah.